Hello, my convicts and convicts. Yes, it is I, the Cap Convict, bringing you guys and gals another vlog. Yes, we're vlogging once again. I just wanted to vlog because I did kind of miss out something in the previous vlog I meant to mention, but I didn't. So yeah, but I've just finished my recording. If you watch here, you can see I'm just doing the Black Ops 4 recording you will see today as well. Definitely watch it. If this video comes out first, definitely watch it. It's my best game ever. I've never done so well in my life in Black Ops 4 as I did in these two games right here. Even though the second game wasn't as good as the first one, but you know, it was pretty good, pretty good. But the first one, definitely you want to check out on here. If you're new, don't forget to like, subscribe as well. If you're new to the channel, we're getting quite a huge turnover of people coming and asking and looking at the channel, but not actually subscribing. So if you are one of those, please subscribe today. Tap that notification bell and like the video because it will help to continue to grow my channel. You'll become one of my convicts and convicats. And not only that, we can grow and do better, get better equipment, better peripherals, more controllers like the C40 Astro or the Netdoomer. Well, with like the XR500 from Netgear, which has got the Doomer OS software, but it'll give me better monitors as well, a better PC, so we can hopefully do some PC gaming as well as console gaming, and then obviously Xbox as well, because I'd like to get all the consoles, especially the future consoles that are coming out, such as the new Xbox, whatever you call it, Scarlet, is it Project Scarlet or whatever you call it, and then obviously the PS4 or well PS5 I should say, that's coming out as well. So anyway, the video today was about, in fact, SSD HD and HD. Now, does it make a difference on PS4 Pro? It does, yes. But only minor difference in terms of loading. It doesn't really make a difference in, it gives you an upper hand, you see people quicker than they see you and such and so forth. It just basically makes the system loading quicker. So for such as like Black Ops 3, when you're at the start menu and you're going to load into games, there's been times when I had the stock drive to the PS4 Pro, which is down here. The stock drive to the PS4 Pro here, for those who are quite new to the channel, this is, you know, the first couple of weeks I've actually had a PS4 Pro. I've never had a PS4 Pro since it was launched. I've just only recently got one, and that is the one that's here. But yeah, basically what happens is the SSD stock drive that was in there is a 1 terabyte drive, but I noticed when I was loading into Black Ops 3, I'd have to spam X. So as soon as I got into the game, I would start immediately. I wouldn't have a chance to look for any guns or anything, just start the game. Otherwise, what it would do, it would throw me back to the main menu, and it says that I've been idle for too long and I've been kicked from the game. And I'm like, well, how can you kick me from the game? How am I idle too long when in fact I've just loaded in? It's like, what? It's like, how am I supposed to get into the game and start if I've just, you know, I've just literally got in. I had a chance to pick a specialist or class or anything, and it's saying, oh, too late. So I used to spam X just to get into the game, and then I would die, and then I would choose my class, and I could eventually do it. Since I put in my new hard drive, which is a 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive, it's the Barracuda. You can find it on Amazon. It is pretty cheap for the 1 terabyte hard drive on there, and it's an SSD HD. So we've gone from the normal hard drive to an SSD HD, and what basically happens with that drive is it's a combination of a hard drive but with the cache of an SSD on it. So it's kind of like a hard drive with M.2 memory fixed on top of it. And what basically happens then is it still installs games onto the hard drive, but what it does on the SSD portion of the hard drive is it actually remembers like certain, you know, like where you go on the internet and you go browse for particular games and you get the browser history and it remembers all the sites you were on before. So it kind of learns what sites you go on, so it loads the pages faster. That's what an SSD HD does, is that it takes information, stores it on the SSD portion of it, pulls that information back so that it can load it faster and then obviously you've got a normal game that runs through the hard drive on there. Then you've got the third variant on here, which is the solid state drive, the SSD, which is obviously the creme de la creme, the best of the best, and is a fully non-mechanical moving, because the hard drive has like a little needle that goes like this and doesn't wobble your screen, but you know it does this. And then the SSD HD still has the mechanical drive, but like I said, it has the extra of the cache that can be stored, so it can store familiar things, or it'll keep certain things that it'll store on it so it loads faster, such as like loading screens and that. And then you've got the SSD, which loads games in faster as well. Now, it has been tested by people before. Does it change anything in terms of performance of games and stuff like that? And they've said no, it doesn't really do anything for like the multiplayer side. All it basically does is it helps you go and transition from one loading screen to another loading screen at a much faster speed. And like I said, with the SSD HD, it helps you to physically get into games quicker, so you can actually be physically moving. Have you ever joined a game and you've seen the enemies running already, and you're like, well, I've just joined, how do you get here so fast? That's because they may be having a SSD. And that's the only sort of advantage I would say you would get from having an SSD in your computer. Obviously with the PS5, that will be irrelevant, because PS5 is going to have its own built-in SSD that's been specially made for the PS5, as it's shown obviously far superior in terms of keeping up with frame rates and keeping the performance up of games and doing everything that they needed it to do in terms of giving it huge more performance than what it is with anything else. So like motion blur might be a thing of the past. They might not use motion blur as much now as what they've done with these consoles, because obviously 60 frames per second is quite choppy. Adding motion blur onto that is quite bad, but I think they do it in the terms of to make the fidelity or the graphical look of the game sort of kind of still look kind of good. It's kind of like a little cheat, a little trick that they do to do that. But I turn it off. I absolutely hate any motion blur or anything like that. It's just stupid. Puts me off, and then you end up missing half the time with your shots. It's like, what's the point, really? Seriously. Same as aim acceleration. Absolutely hate it, but you know it exists, unfortunately. But cool. Salute to Respawn, obviously, and Apex, and all the other games that they seem to make. Even Titanfall has that option where you can actually physically turn it off, and you can design your whole stick layout to how you want the aiming to be, which I really hope in the future a lot of other games, even Call of Duty, do this, where you can have more control over your pitch, your yaw speed, the fine aim, so the extra pitch, the extra yaw, and all those sort of features have all them embedded inside of our games, because I feel that console players have always been on the downside or down foot from it, because we've always never really had that, you know, that amazing quality in terms of quality of life things, such as being able to change your field of view for one, and the controls, having more control over your aiming and speed and stuff, because everyone has a different style of aim and pace that they like to work at, like in the moment. So I actually forgot to tell you about the settings in Black Ops 4. So if you're watching this video and you're like, Kappa, where's those settings for Black Ops 4? You didn't tell us. I'll tell you in a moment, because it's just about finished on here downloading, and then I'll let you know what they were on here, because I absolutely forgot. I will write it down into Black Ops 4 as well, just so you know. But yep, this is now completed, as you can see. So I'm going to start uploading this for you right now, and this will be uploaded. But for now, let me just quickly go out of that. Can I go into Black Ops 4? No, I can't. I'd have to. I couldn't put it down to share later. Let me go to share later. Right. Then we need to exit. I want to save project and exit. There we go. So we're quickly going to Black Ops 4 while Black Ops 4 is loading. Excuse me. Let me get another drink. I don't know what's up with my throat today, but it's so bad. But yeah, this is where I sit. When I game for you, this is where I sit. Literally. Because I'm so close to there. I want it to be as close to possible to the actual socket here. Because from here I get 20 milliseconds. If I go upstairs, I get about 34 to 37 milliseconds is the lowest I can possibly get, I think, on there. So it's just obviously a no-brainer. And I don't have an Ethernet cable that's long enough to go from here to go upstairs. Plus, it would be just so annoying to have that. So I have these little adapters here. If you can see it, this here, this. And basically what this does is it hardwires. And this is what I mean by the home adapters. And they basically send the current through this wire into the socket, and it goes up through the electrical house, and then obviously goes through your electrics up to the other one, and it pairs them together. So it's like you're running a big Ethernet cable, but you're running through the electricity lines of the property. But depending on how the house, or how old, excuse me, if we can talk right, Kappa, how old your property is, which this property is old, you don't know what kind of wiring you're going to have, if it's going to be good wiring or if it's going to be bad wiring. If it's a new build, then obviously you could build and make sure that it's quality wiring that you're putting through. Anyway, let's get back to this. No, I don't want to do you. Get off. So here we go. Let me get my controller here. Right, so multiplayer. Get back over there. Thank you. Excuse me for the quality, but I'm doing this obviously through my monitor. Well, through my phone, I should say. So I'll go to options. This is so weird trying to do this when you're so used to holding it a different way. There we go. So if I move my headset over here, if I come over here and show you on there. So as you can see, it says looking version is standard, but I'm using 3/4, 3 for horizontal, 4 for vertical. ADS sensitivity of 1/1. The update for Fortnite's now started. Aim assist on, everything else is on. I don't have sprint, cancel, reload. Auto mantle, I have that off. Auto sprint, I have that off. Layout, default, and default. And that's it. That's all I really do with that. That's all I have it as in terms of playing. But that's what I was playing today with to get that kind of KD. So that's what you need to be doing, is if you want to have really good aim, you want 3/4. And there's very little times where you'll have problems. I think the only time you'll have a problem is someone's right in your face. That's the only time it'll become a problem, where you might have to hip fire or try and duke them to try and get aim onto them. But the reason why I had 4 on there is because when I'm aiming up, I wanted it to be faster. Before, what I tend to do is have the horizontal faster than the vertical, so that the transition from going up to try and get the people on the head glitches, it was easier to do. But I feel like sometimes, especially in gunfights or in certain situations, which is more than few, I was finding myself not being able to quite aim to them as fast, and that's what gets me killed. And when people are jumping in the air, you want to be able to aim up that a little bit quicker. Or if you're like aiming at the floor and then you're trying to aim up, it was too slow to reach the person before they were taking shots. So yeah, that's how we do. So let me just plug this in because my phone is complaining that it's low on battery. And there we go. So hopefully you enjoyed. I do apologise, this will be a little bit long-winded. I don't generally script my vlogs. I don't really think it'd be fair to script it, to be honest. I just enjoy just speaking out freely and freehanding it, you know. All about the freestyle. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you're new, tap that notification bell, because you never know when I'm going live or when my videos are going live. I might do some crazy stuff, like I even said yesterday regarding Fortnite and showing you how bad shotguns were in Fortnite, to the point I shot him first with a gold tactical in the head, and it gave me all the red dots. So red dots were registering, the little red dots were registering a hit, but yeah, I still dive first to the guy. And yeah, don't get me started on Fortnite, please. But I'll see what we can do in regards to Fortnite. I'm hoping that they can improve it. I think for me personally, if you're going to play Fortnite, I would suggest playing on a PC. Don't play it on console, because on consoles, it just doesn't work right. It just doesn't play. I think that's obviously why a lot of people who used to play on console ported over. But as you can see, a lot of more pros now actually coming to controller, because controller is actually somewhat better on PC playing Fortnite than it is to actually use a keyboard and mouse. So, you know, all those haters saying, oh, console players are rubbish, but yet now all the pros at the current moment, at high distortion and that, are actually going and preferring controller on the game that they started as a keyboard and mouse. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I've rambled on for so long. But yeah, you know who it is. It is I, the Kappa Convict. I'm signing out, and as always, I salute you. And hopefully having a great day, my convicts and convicts. So, quick little history. If you're going to pick a drive for your PS4 or you want to loading faster, you want to be picking either SSD HD or an SSD. Obviously, SSD HDs are a lot cheaper than an SSD, especially for a 1TB one. You're talking about 140 to 180 odd pounds, I think, for an SSD for 1TB. So I would recommend an SSD HD. They are the kind of learning drives that the more you load the game, like I said, it saves information and then it loads that cache and it brings it back faster, like the history of your browser. So all I can say now is bye for now.